In this short tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do open channel modeling in HydroCAD. If you're new to this video, I highly recommend watching the playlist of HydroCAD tutorials because I'm going to build on top of the subbasin that I created in the previous tutorials. Another point that I want to talk about is a playlist related to water resources engineering. Over the years, I have developed this playlist that talks about theory of different water resources engineering methodologies, and you can watch these to familiarize yourself with the methodology that is used in HydroCAD as well. For example, in the previous tutorial we talked about SCS curve number, and you can watch these videos to familiarize yourself with SCS curve number. Similarly, in today's video we are going to talk about Manning's equation and different parameters and variables in Manning's equation, so you can find a video about Manning's equation and watch that as well. I'm gonna copy and paste the link to my water resources engineering playlist in the description section of the video as well. Alright, back to HydroCAD. Let me review quickly what we did before. We created a set of rainfall from 1 year return period all the way to 100-year return period. And then we created a subbasin. I'm going to show you the subbasin that we created. The total area was 2 acres, weighted curve number was 86 based on different areas that we had. And then we defined time of concentration for those areas as well. So this is our watershed. One thing that you need to pay attention to is that I manually changed the minimum time of concentration to 5 minutes. So if my calculated time of concentration is less than 5 minutes, the program is going to overrule that and put the value of 5 minutes instead of the calculated value. Alright, so this was the watershed. Now I can run the model for every return period that I want to. For example, for 5 year, if I double click on my subbasin, you can see the hydrograph that is created over here, and in the summary you can see the summary and peak flow and so on and so forth as well. Alright, now I can change the return period to 10 year and then click on it again, and you will see that the peak obviously is larger because the higher return period corresponds to higher peak as well. And obviously in the message box you see that there are no errors, that there are no hints as well. Alright, let's go back to 5-year return period. Now what we are going to do, we are going to define a reach. And a reach essentially is an open channel. Let's do that. So a reach is over here added to the page that you're working by dragging it wherever you want to. Alright, we're going to edit that. So I'm going to right click on it and then press edit. I'm going to call it my open channel 1. Alright, you can see that there are different reach types or open channel types over here. You can have a rectangular, triangular, or trapezoidal channel. You can have a parabolic channel. You can add a custom discharge to it or a custom cross section if you have the data. But what are these and how we can define those? So depending on the area that you are, you might have different drainage channels. These are the 3 typical shapes of drainage channels: a rectangular channel which has a cross section of a rectangle, a triangular channel, and trapezoidal channel. If you're defining triangular or trapezoidal channel for HydroCAD, you need to define a side slope for these channels as well. These channels are obviously open channel because if we have flowing water inside these channels, then we have free surface of water as well. However, pipes also can be open channels as well. So if you have a circular pipe or a rectangular pipe, a box culvert, or an elliptical pipe, you can have free surface of water in these pipes as well. If the pipe is not fully filled, then you have open surface of water, and these pipes are considered an open channel, and you can model them using HydroCAD. However, if the pipe is fully filled, is flowing full, then you cannot use the open channel or the reach function of HydroCAD to model these sections of the pipe. And the reason is actually pretty easy, and it's related to fluid mechanics. If your circular pipe is not fully filled, then the pressure at 2 sections of the pipe are going to be exactly the same thing. However, if the water in the pipe is flowing full, then the pressure is not the same thing, and we call this sort of pipes to be pressurized, and they cannot be modeled using the reach function of HydroCAD. Alright, for the first part of this video, I'm going to define a trapezoidal channel. So I'm going to click on the trapezoidal channel, and you will see that all the tabs here are different right now. And then I'm going to go through the tabs one by one. So first of all, section. We need to have the bottom width of the trapezoidal channel, as I showed you in the photo a couple of seconds ago. So I'm going to define this bottom width to be 1 foot. And then the channel depth also needs to be defined over here. So I'm going to define this as 1 foot as well. And then right now the channel is rectangular. If I define the left side slope and the right side slope, then I'll have a trapezoidal channel. So the side slopes are run over rise. So I'm going to define this as 1 and then define this one as 1 as well. So this is my trapezoidal channel that you can see has the depth of 1 foot and the bottom width of 1 foot as well. All right, let's talk about the profile. The profile is the longitudinal cross-section of the channel. So I need to know what is the length of this drainage channel that I have. In my case, I'm going to define that as 20. And then Manning's number is related to Manning's equation. If you want to know about Manning's number and the theory behind how HydroCAD calculates Manning's number, I highly recommend watching the Water Resources Engineering playlist, specifically the hydraulics part of that, to learn about Manning's equation. But for the sake of this video, we need to find the roughness of the channel, right? So when you click on the lookup table, this table gives you different options for closed conduits or pipes. And if you scroll down, you will see that the open channels over here. This is actually text over here tells you the type of open channels that we have. In my case, I want to say that I have asphalt and it's rough. And I'm going to select the typical value and then click OK. All right, this would be the value of the Manning's number, which represents the roughness of the channel. Now, we need to define the inlet invert and the outlet invert of our channel as well. The elevation of the bottom of channel at the inlet when water enters to the channel that I'm defining, that would be the inlet invert elevation, and the elevation of the invert of the outlet section of my channel, that would be the outlet invert elevation that we need to have based on surveying and input into our channel. So over here, I know that the inlet invert of my channel is 900 feet, and you can define the slope that it automatically defines the outlet invert for you, or if you have the elevation of the outlet, you can input that. So I'm going to say 899.5. So the slope of the channel would be 2.5%. All right. Tailwater gives you some information about the what kind of situation you have at the tailwater, which I have free discharge. And then in the advanced mode, you can define the flood depth. And the flood depth would be the depth after which you have flooding condition, and a warning will be generated in the message box that tells you that you have a flood situation. All right. And the notes, obviously, you can write whatever notes that you want to over here. Okay, I'm going to apply this and then click OK. Now, I put a lot of information about my open channel 1 over here. Now I want to connect the water that is generated in this hydrograph with the return period of 5 years, into this open channel. So this water will be connected to this open channel. And similarly, if I hover over this connection area, I can hold the left key of my mouse and connect it using this arrow to the other one. Now these two are connected, so the water is going to be routed through this channel. Now if I double click on this open channel over here, you'll see the inflow, or the green hydrograph is the hydrograph that is generated in the subbasin, and the blue hydrograph is the hydrograph that is routed through this channel. Now to get even more information, if I go to the storage, you will see over here that it gives me the maximum velocity, the average velocity. These two numbers are important for sedimentation and erosion. Usually, based on the districts that you are in, there are different values recommended. So your average velocity should be higher than a specific number, and your maximum velocity should be lower than a specific number. In addition to that, you have the inflow and outflow for this 5-year events that we had over here. Also, you get a visual of your channel and the depth of water, average depth of water in your channel as well. When you click on that, it will give you information on different lines that you have over here. This is a good thing about HydroCAD. Whenever you click, for example, on average velocity or any other line, it gives you information on that. Okay, so now we designed this channel and we know that the water is not going to it's not going to spill over our channel, right? But remember, this is only for a 5-year scenario. What if I change this 5-year to 10-year? You can see that automatically the results are updated because our peak flows are higher, the results are updated. Even for the 10-year scenario, the channel is not going to be over tapped. Now let's do something else. I'm going to move this to a 5-year, and then if I click on edit, I can edit this section of my channel. Let's say that I want to consider a rectangular channel. So I'm going to put the side slope to 0. Now I have a rectangular channel that has the bottom width of 1 and a channel depth of 1, and apply. Okay, now you can see that the water is way closer to the top of the channel, right? So let's change the 5-year return period to 10-year, and now you can see that the channel is full and we have a warning over here that says reach 8R, storage range exceeded by this much. This means that we have water above this channel, and this is the amount of water, the depth of water that is above the channel. Okay, so essentially the depth of water exceeded the top of the channel that we defined over here. Okay, so we know that this channel is not suitable for this 10-year return period. What can we do? We can go to edit and change the section. Maybe we can increase the bottom width or increase the depth of the channel. I'm going to increase the bottom width to 1.5 and click apply, and now you can see the channel is suitable for the 10-year and also obviously for the 5-year as well, and we don't get any errors when we run model for 5-year and 10-year return periods. Okay, so now this edit button over here is very helpful, so you can change different parameters when you're designing an open channel. Also, you can change the slope. Right now my slope is 2.5. Let's change the slope to 5% and see what happens. Obviously the depth of water is going to go down. Why? Because the velocity is going to increase. Because the velocity is increased, water is moving faster and the depth of water is going to be lower as well. So this is how you play with the features of reach in HydroCAD to design different open channels. Now I'm going to close this and change this to 5-year, and let's change this to a pipe. So notice that when I clicked on the pipe, it gives me a warning that pipe reach is intended only for open channel flow. This is what I was talking about. So if your pipe is going to be full, then HydroCAD cannot consider the pressure differences a pressurized pipe. So you need to make sure that whenever you are designing a pipe as your drainage ditch, as an open channel, your pipe should not be full. Okay, so let's design that. So here, because the shape of the pipe is round, you can have box pipe or arc pipes, so on and so forth. I'm going to select round. You need to define a diameter for your pipe, and I'm going to define the diameter of 1. Actually, let's do 12 inches. This is in inches, so 1 foot. Okay, and then if there is something in the pipe, like, I don't know, if there's sedimentation or a sill in the pipe, you can add a fill, but I'm going to consider that I don't have any fill, so that would be nothing. You can also use the built-in features of HydroCAD to find the normal CMP or corrugated metal pipe round sizes. I selected the small one. You can choose it this way as well. And then the profile, because I put the information before for that my open channel, it keeps all of that information, but I know that this pipe might not be asphalt pipe, so I'm going to go to lookup again, and here I'm going to select, let's actually go with the PVC smooth interior pipe and a typical section over here. You will see that the matting number will be changed. Everything else is the same thing. I'm going to change back the slope back to 2.5 or 2.5%, which will be this value, and then apply and OK. Now let's double click on our open channel to run this. You'll see that we have the hydrograph over here. We have the summary over here. Okay, and then this is a cross section of the pipe. You can clearly see that the pipe is not full. Okay, and this is acceptable. That's why we didn't get a warning here. We got a hint over here that tells us that the inlet and outlet condition not evaluated. If you want to learn more about hints, are usually help you to make a better model. It's not crucial to solve that hint or to pay attention to that hint, but you can click on it and it gives you more information about that hint as well. Let's change the return period from 5-year to 10-year and see if the pipe's still going to be half full or partially full. You can see that it's still going to be partially full. And now let's click on this and go to maybe 100-year. Now you can see that the pipe is full, pressurized, and you get the warning as well. This is telling you that there is ponding before the inlet of your pipe, and the pipe is pressurized, and you should not use this feature in HydroCAD, and instead of that you should use the pond with culvert feature. If I click on that, it will tell you more information on that. Okay, so if you're designing this pipe as an open channel, you can use it up to even 50-year, you get the error. How about 20-year? 20-year, you get the error, and how about 10-year? You do not get the error. So you can use this feature in HydroCAD up to 10-year return period. Higher than that, it is advised to use a pond with culverts as an outlet. Okay, so this was general information on how you can use the reach function in HydroCAD to design different types of open channels. And with that note that open channel also could be a pipe only if you have free surface of water. In other words, only if the pipe is not flowing full.